here at the county. So with that, we're going to get into, again, some 3 slides that are around sort of core lean principles, concepts, and techniques. We're not going to go into depth, but just to give you guys a fast overview of the material. This is really, lean is both a mindset and a tool set, and that's why we've tried to sort of focus it this way. First and foremost, this work is about an investment in people, and again, recognizing that our employees who do the work are the experts in these processes, and really engaging them in reconsideration of our processes every day. So 5 key principles we'd like to share are on the slide here. The first being critical is setting goals and challenging the status quo. That doesn't mean the status quo is wrong, but just to take the time to reflect and examine each step and why we would choose to continue or change steps in our processes and how we approach our work. The second principle, this is that element of continuous. Everything can be improved. That doesn't mean that our processes today are broken. It just means we can do better. The third principle is around fixing root causes. Lots of times we jump to solutions. We think we know the better way without doing the analysis to really understand the problems in front of us and what are the root causes. Critical principle of this approach to work is respecting others and seeking understanding. That's both from a customer perspective, from an employee perspective, from a manager perspective. Taking that time to communicate is critical. And again, this teamwork approach, that it's not top-down, it is much more organic and involving the folks who do the work. Next is some key lean concepts. You've heard it a little bit ad nauseum at this point, but the perspective of customer is a really critical element of continuous process improvement. And frequently, particularly in a public sector setting, that conversation in itself can be a challenging one, the term customer, because sometimes the folks we deliver services to, they don't have another choice. So this is going to be a really interesting aspect of the introduction of this set of tools and principles, is how do you define customer in various processes. They can be internal customers, they can be external customers, but that'll be a key element of the work. The other aspect is this question of value. Of each step in a process, how does it actually create value from a customer perspective? And there's a lot of different tools to get at these questions in a methodical and disciplined way. A third area is around this question of waste within processes. On your slide here, it does talk about the 8 different types of waste. And as we do process flow and process mapping, we'll be analyzing the time between activities and whether there's waste that can be eliminated. And this is one of the tool sets you use for that. The next slide is really, this is quite tangible tools and techniques for doing this work. It's not just ideas. One of the core ideas here is this PDSA or PDCA cycle, Plan, Do, Study Act, or sometimes it's referred to Plan, Do, Check Act. The idea here is, again, what is your starting point? Assessing the status quo, understanding how the system is working, and then starting to set goals of where you want to change, implementing those changes, reviewing how well you did, and starting the cycle over. It is really fundamental to any of the continuous process work. I'll just highlight a couple more. Kaizen events. It is really a scalable improvement intervention with a series of specific tools and methods that you can use, and we'll be talking about those as part of our first-year rollout. The other aspects that are probably important to focus on are things like A3. A3 is another problem-solving template that we expect to be using, and process walks. Literally, this is getting out and seeing how things work, not just sort of being what you kind of remember it to be, but actually in the workplace watching how things work. One of the Japanese terms for it is going to gemba, and there's a strong recommendation for managers and leaders to go to the floor and see how things work.